Hey guys, I'm Bri, fresh from the shower as you all can see.
And I'm Thirdy, and welcome back to our channel.
So for today's video, we are going to talk about the importance of sustainable agriculture and its effects on climate change and how this affects certain populations and industries.
So in the last episode, we got to learn more about what sustainable agriculture is. And now, it leaves us the question with why? Why is it important? And more importantly, why we should be practicing sustainable agriculture.
So to start things off, I'm first going to talk about the ugly methods that we use now, such as industrial agriculture. Industrial agriculture is defined as farming, which is highly concentrated and highly mechanical. These farmers use chemicals, pesticides, and other antibiotics to make their crops grow faster, which then leads to more supply of food and harvests for them. This method has been used for over years and years by numerous farmers in order to induce rapid growth of their crops, but in exchange harms our environment further. Which is why we need to switch to sustainable agriculture, which uses methods which are good for our environment, public health, human communities, and even animal welfare. So let me start off by explaining to you why it is important for us as people. Industrial agriculture uses lots of chemicals which are sprayed onto the crops that we consume as people for our food and nutrients. When farmers spray chemicals on these plants, they kill the microorganisms which our body needs in order for us to become healthy. Just as these chemicals kill the microbes in our soil, it also kills the microbes that we need for our bodies. Do you know that chemicals have been so oversprayed that it has found its way into our waters? And these chemicals are also found to give us illnesses. Let me give you an example. Field corn has been so oversprayed with this chemical called glyphosate. This chemical is found to be one of the causes of cancer for people. This is why we need to stop the use of industrial agriculture and switch to sustainable agriculture. And with sustainable agriculture, it helps keep the microbes in the plants, which then we can consume as people and will be more healthy for our bodies. Now let's move on to climate change. Tilling, which is part of industrial agriculture, leads to an increase in carbon dioxide, but soil has the ability to sequester this carbon dioxide from the air. Plants pull carbon dioxide out of the air and turn it into a carbon fuel, which will make them grow. When we damage soils using these sprays, these chemicals, we give off carbon, and carbon goes back into our atmosphere. When we destroy soils and plants, we create sensible heat which makes the air hotter and pushes away rain clouds. With plants, we want transpiration. Transpiration happens when you have a healthy plant. These plants grow and moisturize, which gives off water, which then attracts cool air and brings in the rain clouds. Also, this avoids desertification. But what is desertification? To be honest with you, desertification is just a fancy word for land turning into a desert. Healthy soils absorb water and carbon dioxide from the air. But unhealthy soils release water and carbon dioxide into the air, which will then dry out these soils and turn them into dust. With industrial farming, there's a chance for us to destroy these soils and plants, which will then attract heat in our environment. But when we use sustainable farming and agriculture, we can make healthy soils and healthy plants, which will then increase rainfall and make our air cooler. Desertification is really bad for our environment since this creates a lot of sensible heat. This also makes our land very poor, and poor land leads to poor people. Poor land leads to droughts, floods, and many more calamities that our earth may face. And to be honest with you, according to statistics, already 2/3 of our world is desertifying, which is why we need to switch into sustainable agriculture in order to take care of our soils and plants, which will then lead to a healthier world. Now that we've talked about the importance of sustainable agriculture and how bad industrial agriculture can be, I will give you back to Thirdy in order for him to explain to you how climate change affects different industries and populations.
I couldn't agree with you more, Bri. Now, another problem we're all facing right now is climate change. It needs no introduction. Everyone knows it. It's big, it's scary, and it affects us all. Another scary reality is how climate change negatively impacts industries here. Industries like the agricultural industry. And living in the Philippines, that's a scary thing because agriculture here is a really, really big business, a big industry present in the country. So how big of an industry is this? Well, for example, here in the Philippines, agriculture is one of the, if not the essential industries here in the Philippines. It consists of forestry, livestock production, crop farming, and aquaculture cultivation. Its output can sustain the local demand, and it's considered to be an essential commodity within Filipino household. Commercial crops, on the other hand, is where it helps the economy a lot. It assists the agricultural export industry as well as the local demand and consumption. Did you know that, it's a fun fact, it's a really good fun fact, that the agricultural export industry here in the Philippines, its value amounts up to 122.8 billion pesos. That's pretty big. So crop farming, it's been a lifelong activity for food consumption and as well as the business side, and it's been an essential activity here in this country, in this very tropical country in the Philippines. Now, agriculture is a big thing here, but climate change is an even bigger and an even scarier thing, as its negative impacts they pose a threat to the industry. Now, climate change is a challenge that we need to overcome, as its adverse impacts such as increased flooding incidents, soil degradation, drought, decrease in water supply, and an increase in pests and diseases, they all threaten agriculture's productivity. It can affect multiple fields such as our crops, our livestock, and our fisheries. Negative things such as a decrease in fertile land, soil erosion, precipitation changes, extreme weather changes, temperature increase, so many things come to mind, and they all lead to a reduce in agriculture's productivity. So what does this mean for us as consumers? This disrupts our food availability, this can reduce food access, and overall it just threatens the quality and the quantity of the food we can get. Scary. Now, not all hope is lost. There are things that we can do to make things better as a way to fight against this problem. We just need to learn how to take better care of our soil, and we need to learn better ways of planting. We underestimate soil, but soil is a pretty cool thing in this world. Did you know that soil captures more carbon than the plants and the atmosphere combined? It's crazy. That came as a shock to me. And this is why we should be learning about sustainable agriculture more. Gone with the old, which was industrial agriculture, and in with the sustainable. Now, sustainable agriculture eliminates the typical farming practices that take up a lot of land, a lot of fertile land, if I might add, with its single crop approach. That takes up lots and lots of space, lots of land, and this usually ruins the landscape. Now, with sustainable agriculture, they follow planting multiple crops in a single plot of land, and that benefits us by growing more plants while using less land. It preserves the ground, the environment. Another advantage is that it eliminates cruelty in factory farming by decreasing brutal treatment done to animals. Yes, sustainable agriculture really focuses on making a more humane environment. Now, another advantage is that sustainable agriculture has the ability to significantly decrease water pollution by eliminating those harmful fertilizers used during farming. These fertilizers have the ability, have chemicals that can kill the microorganisms in the soil. So the benefits that come out of this can be better air quality, and it preserves natural resources. We just have to change the way we farm and grow our plants now. If we do it successfully, then it's a domino effect to better things. First off, less carbon, and then it will lead on to cooling. The practices that heal our soil, like sustainable agriculture, will also heal our climate. It will also heal our planet. This farming type really uses the ability of the best carbon capturers out there, which are the photosynthesis of the plants and the microorganisms in the soil. This type of farming, it really focuses on carbon capturing, and it does it best as it is based on the concept of regeneration. Now, what is regeneration, if you may ask? It's basically repairing the damages that we've done, and not only heal things, just healing, it's making things better, fixing and making them stronger and better. If we switch to a sustainable agriculture now, then it's just like I said, it's a domino effect to better things. We just need to start now. We just need to adapt to sustainable so that we can lead to regeneration.
After tackling the importance of sustainable agriculture, we hope that you have learned a lot from this video and try to promote the use of sustainable agriculture and lessen industrial agriculture in order to save us as human beings and our whole world.
And stay tuned for the next episode as we teach you simple ways that you can be practicing sustainable agriculture. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. Once again, we are Farmhand, and see you next time.